What's your position on artificial intelligence, potential positive and negative outcomes, and general sense of what it will mean for humanity
Those people?
over the next 5 years? 5 years, that's all.
Well, my position basically is we better get our act together before the giants show up. And they're like knocking at the door right now. So you better build your ark, folks, and get on your adventure, because we're whipping up some things in the lab that will make everything that's come so far look like nothing's happened at all yet. And that's not like next year, that's tomorrow, that's now. So we're going to have a lot of things to contend with. And you know, they're very promising. They're very promising. I was talking to my brother-in-law, for example, who's the world's greatest chip designer, as it turns out. And he's built, I don't know if there's anybody who's changed the world more in the last 15 years than Jim, with the possible exception of Musk. And that'd be a tight battle, because he built all the chips in your iPhone and in Intel systems and in AMD systems. And I mean, other people did as well, but he was key to that. One of the things we were talking about last week was the possibility that we could build a chat GPT system, essentially, that was a trained neuroscientist. And so I thought I could work with him to identify the cardinal works of neuroscience over the last 15 years, the greatest books, the greatest papers, train the chat GPT system on that, and then use it as a scientist to evaluate the current literature. And that seems like the only thing that's stopping that is time. Like, it's the possibility of doing that's right there. We're going to be able to build, we can already build incredibly intelligent systems. Now, they're not fully calibrated yet, and ChatGPT has its problems and its biases, but Jim figures we'll figure out how to. See, right now, ChatGPT only uses language. So to the degree it's intelligent because of the intelligence that's encoded only in language. And if the linguistic corpus, so the body of text that we've all produced, is biased and warped in some way, that'll be built into the ChatGPT system. And along with whatever biases the programmers might have purposely or inadvertently put into the system. But Jim figures that the AI systems will be able to calibrate their linguistic knowledge against knowledge of images in the world soon. And that's basically what scientists do, right? Because scientists will take a verbal hypothesis and then test it against the actual world. And if the hypothesis and the world fit, then you think, well, that's scientifically verified. And Keller thinks that AI systems will be able to do that pretty soon. And pretty soon means as soon as someone builds one that can do it, because the tech is already in place. And so I have no idea what that's going to mean, and it could easily lead us astray. So here's something that's going to happen in the next year. So imagine now you're a lonesome guy, and you can get a digital friend, woman, and she can talk to you like ChatGPT talks to you, and listen like ChatGPT listens to you, which is maybe, if you're really lonesome and alienated, more than anyone has ever listened to you in your life. And then soon, she'll not only listen to you as a text interface, but she'll be a fully rendered 3D, well, let's say 2D photorealistic, fully rendered animation, indistinguishable from a genuine image of a genuine person. And then that'll be 3D for your, Oculus headset. And then, well, that'll be sexual and like just right now. That'll be the value proposition, right? Is you'll be able to turn your virtual girlfriend into your virtual sex partner. And who knows what that'll do, right? And then the next thing after that is you'll be able to put that into a robot. And that'll be... The robots have been tricky, but I can't imagine that's more than 10 years away. And that's just one thing that's going to happen, maybe not even the most surreal thing. Pretty soon we'll be contending with the fact that someone will be able to generate a photorealistic version of Donald Trump and have him say something absolutely reprehensible and spread it everywhere just before election night. And there'll be a real confusion about whether he said it or didn't. So what do we do when our representations of reality can be falsified? Now, I was talking to my son about that today, and he thinks we'll get into an arms race right away because there'll be technologies that can detect whether video is artificial. But then, there'll be a race because other technologies will learn how to fool that technology. And, maybe we'll be able to stay on the edge where we can still detect what's real and what isn't. But I don't think we're doing a very good job of that right now on social media, because social media, it's kind of like the world, except it's way more demented. And the problem with that is that it makes the whole world look demented. So, I've known for a long time, or believed, acted as if it's incumbent on us to become as wise as we are powerful. And that's asking a lot. I don't see another solution. Part of the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing, part of the reason we're doing what we're doing is because we're trying to become wiser, that's for sure. But we're also hoping that discussions of the sort that we had tonight, why would I say discussion? It's like, I know that I'm talking, but you're all here, and I don't talk to the group, I talk to individuals, and I'm watching to see if what I'm saying is landing, if people are paying attention. It's still a dialogue, and you can tell when a talk like this is a dialogue because it doesn't seem prepackaged and it captures your interest, and that's because it really is a conversation. And we need to have conversations that promote wisdom, and we need to get at that like there's no tomorrow, because if we don't get at that like there's no tomorrow, either there will be no tomorrow, and that's a real possibility, or it'll be a tomorrow that will make all the hells we've managed to generate in the past look like Satan was just warming up. And we're toying with that right now in an unbelievably provocative manner. On the AI front, on the environmental apocalypse front, on the culture war front, on the war with Russia front. So part of the reason that we're on this tour, when we could be, say, at home with our family and pursuing more local creative enterprises is because we're hoping that, we can all get our act together fast enough. Because I also think that we've got this choice in front of us right now, as far as I can tell, and that's we can either play out the apocalypse spiritually, that means conceptually, and sort ourselves out ethically and separate the wheat from the chaff within each of us, or the saved from the damned, that's another way of looking at it. We can either do that conceptually, psychologically, and in communication with each other, voluntary communication, or we can play it out in the world as war and catastrophe. And really, as far as I can tell, everything's accelerating, right? Including the eternal battle between good and evil in heaven. And so, you either take on that responsibility as a spiritual problem, or, as Jung said, Carl Jung, you play it out in the world as fate. And I'm utterly convinced that that's true. So